Previously on Balls.
We're now going to get Brandon from Top Odds, our favourite man this week, isn't he? Because Brandon,
yes,
it's Neal Collins, and I've got the mole next to me in the studio. You can see a picture of him on the internet. I've got Comfort opposite me and Maz behind me, and we all just want to remind you that you were the one that said that Chelsea had absolutely stonking no chance of losing your money bet to beat Everton, and lo and behold, much to us Arsenal fans' relief, Chelsea get done by Everton in the Premier League and then get done in the Champions League at home by Basel, the shock troops from Switzerland.
I knew.
Yeah, mate.
I knew that was coming.
They lurk in those.
I did my money.
Yeah. Did you? Oh, what did you know? Did you think Basel would beat Chelsea at home?
Well, no. I'm saying I lost my money on Chelsea on the weekend.
On Chelsea Everton last weekend. I think we all did. I mean, no one expected that.
I thought Chelsea were a very, very good bet.
Yeah.
I don't know what Jose Mourinho is doing actually. I think he's made a good side a bad one. I think they were doing better, before he arrived there. It's unlike Chelsea to lose at home in the Champions League. I mean, maybe a draw. But like he said after the Man United game, he's got a few youngsters in the side, and maybe they need to learn to play the Mourinho way. I don't think they've quite grasped that yet.
Yeah, mate. Today, Jose Mourinho has come out and told us that his Chelsea side that he's returned to manage after, how long was the gap? 5 years? He's returned to find a side that's immature, with John Terry, Ashley Cole, Peter Cech, and all these old guys in it, Lampard, they're all still there. They've got a great midfield, I think very mature midfield, and he's described them as immature this morning after that. Those two defeats, two on the trot for Jose Mourinho, once against Everton and once at home last night against Basel, with their little band of men who hide in the mountains and come and upset English football every couple of months. Brandon, what can you tell us about this week, mate? What can we say about... we've got some great stuff. I mean, for me, the game of the weekend is going to be your Orlando Pirates on Sunday, having to beat Al Ahly in the Champions League. I don't know if we've got odds on that, but some great games as well. Is it Arsenal-Stoke this week, Molly?
Arsenal-Stoke, and of course you've got the Manchester Derby.
Yeah, exactly, mate. What can you tell us about the Manchester Derby? Should we start with that? Go to www.topodds.com and Brandon will talk us through the green menu on the left.
That's right. You click on soccer, it should direct you to our soccer page. A lot of the leagues are up. So click on English Premier League. I think that's South Africa's focus. I mean, that's one of the favoured ones.
That's right.
And yes, the Manchester Derby, Man City, Manchester United. Geez, I don't think either side has hit their straps yet.
No, agreed.
Man United, a good performance in the Champions League. I don't know how good that Bayer Leverkusen side was. Our defence was absolutely shocking, and I think Sergio Aguero is going to be licking his lips to get in between old lazy Rio and maybe past the Vidic. I'm not too sure. But if you have a look at the odds, Man City are favourites. World Sports Betting offering the best price at 12 to 10. Betting World also up there, 12 to 10. Lance Michael a little bit shorter, 23 to 20. The value in this game might be the draw. I don't know. I think Man United, I don't know how Moyes plays away. I don't know if he's going to go there and set up like Mourinho did at Old Trafford for a draw.
That'd be nice.
It's not the way the two clubs play, especially in a Manchester derby. So maybe there could be a few goals. I'm not too sure. What do you guys think? Man United at 5 to 2, is that a little bit of value?
No. I mean, Molly, let me start. I think Rio Ferdinand proved to us again last night that he's now more intent on producing online magazines and directing films than he is at playing centre half. Although, look, I'm a great Rio Ferdinand fan and I love what he's done to his life. The boy from Peckham is now, hoi polloi. He's done brilliantly, but I think his football career ended about 2 years ago. I think Wayne Rooney was magnificent the other day. If he performs as he did in their Champions League win this week against Bayer Leverkusen, a Bundesliga side. We're all a bit scared of the Bundesliga now, and yet a very effective 4-2 win. Could easily have been 4 or 5-1.
Could also have been 4-4.
Yeah, mate, okay. Yeah, with De Gea and Ferdinand at the back, Man United will leak goals as they didn't used to. So, I'm going Man City on this one. Man City starting to recover, and Pellegrini, nice confident start to his Champions League campaign. Man City have a weakness in the Champions League the last 2 years. So I'm going Man City this time. Eden Dzeko to destroy Ferdinand. Molly, what do you think?
Draw. I'll go draw.
Okay.
The way I look at it is that, okay, Man United didn't leak goals under Ferguson. They scored a couple, and they always like scoring. I think on Tuesday night, Manchester United always looked like scoring, and I haven't seen them look that way under Moyes. I don't know, maybe the fact that they left Danny Welbeck out and Hernandez's fit gives them that extra option, that little bit of pace up front. I'm not too sure, but they haven't looked, bar Tuesday night, like they're going to go in and score 4 or 5 goals. And I think if you're conceding like they have been, that can put you in trouble. And like the Mole said, I mean, it could easily have been 4-4, on Tuesday night. So
I think
Brandon,
the other thing Tuesday was how bad was the Leverkusen keeper. I mean, although the Man United scored 4, 2 of them were him playing. What was he doing?
Yes, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know that that goal threat. I mean, Van Persie, it looked like he scored a cracker, but like you said, the goalkeeper just didn't palm it away. So I don't think he's in the best of form at the moment, Van Persie. And I think we need either him or Rooney, to lead that front line. Rooney's getting better. I think this Man City side is going to have a little bit too much power, and I agree. I think Man City might just win it.
Yeah, mate, I'm going Man City, and it would be nice for a start to see Man United dropping further back and seeing what Moyes is made of. I think ultimately he is the right choice, David Moyes, to be the new Man United manager. He speaks the same language as Sir Alex Ferguson, very thick Glasgow accent. But I've got to say that in my opinion, Pellegrini is starting to settle, and he's starting to get his head around a squad of diverse characters that even without Tevez,
that's the thing. It's the first derby for both managers. Which one wants to grab the game by the scruff of the neck? That'll be an interesting thing as well. Do they both set up to draw? Does one of them say, right, this is this gets the fans on side as well? Because they both need the fans on side early on again. They've got a point to prove, both.
Well,
of them.
I think if there's any manager that needs to take the game by the scruff of the neck, it's got to be Pellegrini. He's at home.
Yeah, sure.
So I think that if Man United come away with it with a draw, I think they'll be fairly happy with that. That performance. I mean, they've lost. I think the last 2 times they've gone there under Ferguson. So and I think they've lost at home to Man City the last 2 times as well. So
yeah.
I think they'll be happy to come away with it with a draw. And I don't think this Man United side. I think they're in a little bit of limbo at the moment. I don't think they know how to play. They haven't adapted to the Moyes way. And I think they haven't really left the Ferguson way. So I think that they're in limbo. And if Man City, who have got the better of them over the last couple of occasions, just play the football that we know they can play in terms of their quality. I mean, Aguero, Negredo, they've signed such quality players who are going to take time to gel. But I think, they should beat Manchester United. And I think 12-10, might be a good bet. I'm a Man United fan. It hurts me to say it, but you've got to put your money where your mind is and not where your heart is, I suppose.
Is there a loss of confidence after the Chelsea predictions last week? That's the question. That's the thing with sports betting, isn't it? You see something you think is an absolute dead certain, and suddenly boom, and it can happen in South African football, in English football, but never in Spanish football. Obviously, it never happens there. Any other games you want to pick out? I think you should, obviously, with all of us here, Arsenal fans. I want to know what you think about Stoke's chances against Arsenal.
Well, if you have a look at the Arsenal-Stoke game, Arsenal at home, I think Mesut Ozil, a great signing. We've discussed him before. First game, he got his assist. So, Arsenal are playing the way he likes to play football. Ball to feet and, in and around that box area. Stoke were fairly impressive on the weekend, were they not?
Yeah, they were. They're seventh in the table.
They were fairly impressive on the weekend, and I think that this might be a tricky one for Arsenal. At home, they should win. A good performance in the Champions League last night again, although they did leak that penalty late on. But I think that Arsenal should win this one. They're a little bit short, 4-10. Alan Bookmaker and World Sports Betting are offering a little bit shorter at Betting World, 7-2. What do you guys think of a draw in this game?
I think that Mark Hughes has changed the way that Stoke play. When we were driving in, Molly, as you said, it's Stoke City Rugby Club, it used to be called, under Tony Poulis. A bit of kick and rush, get the ball up front as fast as you can and try and catch sides on the break. Everyone had a long throw in, didn't they? Remember, right back from Rory Delap, they had about 4 long throwing experts. They've definitely improved technically, but I think against Arsenal that technical improvement won't be enough. And so I'm definitely going with an Arsenal win, but then I suppose I would, wouldn't I?
But he's going to go back to... Is he going to... This is the first game where he sits down and says we're up against a team that on paper will beat us. So does he say, right, I'm not going to play football against them because I'm going to get destroyed. So let's play hoofball and let's get stuck into them and let's put it about. That'll be the telltale. for me.
But they got the 0-0 draw over the weekend against Man City, who we've just talked up. So I guess you have to say, 7th place in the table. Mark Hughes is starting to turn things around. That they're not going to be by any means. But then Arsenal have never found Stoke easy.
No,
I think Arsenal struggled.
Pushover.
Arsenal struggled more against Stoke, Brandon, when Stoke were a kicking. Arsenal fans used to get really animated against Stoke. Wenger used to take a lot of abuse because the Britannia Stadium has the highest noise rating of any stadium in England when it's full, and it will be, and it normally is. And Stoke would get stuck in and kick the hell. Who was the big injury that the Stoke lad caused? Was it
Shawcross on Ramsey?
It was Shawcross on Ramsey, left Ramsey with his foot pointing the wrong way. And there's a lot of aggro between the two sides. I think if Arsenal can keep their heads, if Mesut Ozil can play the way we know he can and just dictate the play and prod the passes, and Aaron Ramsey, what did we say just now? 6 goals in 91 games. This season, 7 goals in 6 games. If he and Ozil can play the way they have been and keep it a football game rather than a... and I think Mark Hughes has taken them that way. He's taken them away from that aggression and violence that they were famous for. Then I think it'll actually play into Arsenal's hands. Although, like I say, they got a draw at Man City, Stoke. So, what can you do about that?
Just a quick question. Is it not?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I mean, I think if this was away from home, like you say, if Arsenal were at the Britannia, the bookies would never be offering you 4 to 10. You get a lot more value, maybe closer to even money. Because they battle against Stoke, and they would take that into account. But I think at home, Arsenal should pass them to sleep and score 2 or 3. 4 to 10 is a little bit short for a punter, but let Arsenal stay on their winning ways. They're a good side to watch, and it'll make the guys in the studio happy at least.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Just a quick question. Okay, let's move to this Liverpool game, Liverpool versus Southampton. A lot of the talk, Liverpool 3 games at the beginning of the season, unbeaten. First team to get 9 out of 9 points for a long time, and all the hype and hoo-ha. How good was Swansea in that game, or were Liverpool just bad?
No, well, I think what interested me under Brandon Rodgers, who I've said from the start is a mid-table knockabout manager. Liverpool ran out of steam in the second half, and he didn't know what changes to make. He made the wrong changes. He pulled the wrong strings. So you went from a situation where Liverpool were on top and probably the better side towards the end of the first half to a position where Swansea were very unlucky not to take that game. A 2-2 draw, the John Joe Shelby Memorial match, we're calling it, because of his involvement at both ends, the former Liverpool player now at Swansea. And I think Liverpool are very, very fortunate to be where they are on the table. They're top by 1 point, thanks to that draw. And I mean, I've laid my cards on the table with Brandon Rodgers to get rid of a guy like Rafa Benitez and then Roy Hodgson and then Kenny Dalglish, and bringing Brandon Rodgers is just, to me, a club not aiming at the right height for a famous old club, but European champions so many times like Liverpool.
Well, if you have a look at the betting on Saturday, they're playing Southampton at home.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Bookmaker offering 11 to 20 along with World Sports Betting. Betting World offering 9 to 20. They're a little bit shorter, showing a little bit more respect for Liverpool.
Yeah.
And Southampton out at 5 to 1 with World Sports Betting.
Yep.
53 to 10, so that's a little bit further out at Lance Michael. And Betting World going out at 13 to 2, so that's 6.5 to 1.
Yep.
I think Southampton might have a little bit of a shout here. I don't think they're a pushover.
No.
I'm not sure who they played last week. I know their odds were fairly good, and I know they were at home. Maybe you guys can shed some light on Southampton's form.
Yeah, I'm just looking. I just had the results up. Southampton mid-table at the moment, right in the middle of the league. There's been upheaval and there's been stuff going on at Southampton now for some time. In terms of the shake-up last season when they brought in the lad, it was from Real Bilbao, wasn't he? And Southampton, on the back of they played the Sunday game, didn't they, or the Monday game? They drew 0-0 with West Ham at home on Sunday in a game that not many people bothered to watch at 5 o'clock South African time last Sunday. I know I kind of turned it on a few times and kind of drifted away from it. But, effective, workmanlike side. Yeah, Southampton will always be, for me, a club that produces great players. Don't forget, they produced Gareth Bale. They produced Theo Walcott. They've got a great... the Ox at Arsenal at the moment. And Letitia, who stayed there all his career. They're to us guys that have lived in England, Southampton is a nursery side. And Arsozil at the top side, as Darren Scott keeps saying. Every time Darren Scott walks through, he shouts Arsozil. And traditionally, I would never fancy Southampton away at Anfield. But Anfield isn't the fortress it once was. So, yeah, absolutely. If you're looking for good odds, surely this is the game you go for. You risk your £100 on Southampton, and if it comes off, you're laughing.
Yeah, you would. You'd receive £500 back, plus your £100 stake. If you took the bet with Betting World, you'd get £650 back, plus your £100 stake. So I don't know, what punters look. We've covered all the big sides except Chelsea, and they're playing Fulham. So if you guys just want to navigate to that game.
Right, you can almost throw.
Yeah, go on.
No, they're not a bad side at all.
And it's a London derby.
They're not a bad side.
Mate, you can almost throw a stone,
Yeah,
couldn't
the
you?
London
From Craven Cottage on the banks of the Thames to Stamford Bridge is basically a stone's throw. It's much closer than, say, even Mamelodi and Tritchville. HM Pitcher and the Masterpieces Maripa Stadium. These are two grounds and two clubs that live in West London. They're very upmarket. Very posh people support them, I've always found. And Fulham, there's a lot of people still think Fulham are a small club, and in many ways they are. But I'd love to see. Imagine 3 in a row, mate. Imagine
I was
3
always
losses
told,
in a row.
I was always told that Chelsea are a small club in Fulham.
That's right. I think they're both actually in the Fulham municipality, aren't they, as we would call it here?
Yeah.
And very, very posh. A house there would cost you at least 40 million rand, and it would only have one toilet outside at the back garden. So we're looking at a situation where these are neighbours, and there will be that scuffle going on. Chelsea should, on paper, wipe them out, shouldn't they? But, geez, imagine 3 defeats on the trot for Jose Mourinho on his great return.
Even a draw, and he's got
draw
pressure on him.
No, I agree.
And that's not a walkover at all. Well, I don't think so.
If you have a look at the betting, you have a look at the betting here. Geez, no respect shown to Fulham.
None
Alan
at all.
Bookmaker and Betting World offering it 9-1. That's fairly massive odds in a Premier League game. They're writing Chelsea, in the winning column already. Like you say, maybe here. Chelsea aren't on the top of their form. Their confidence must be low. For Mourinho to come out and say that about his squad, they can't all be too chuffed to them at the moment. So, maybe the draw there in that game. 47-10 Alan Bookmaker, 9-2 World Sports Betting, 9-2 Betting World. Might just be value.
Yep. Good stuff. Do we need to have a look at any? The rugby's not up yet, is it? The old the return fixture. When's that? 2 weeks' time. The All Blacks Springboks at Ellis Park, where the sinking Bismarck will actually get a full run at the All Blacks. We hope this time.
Well, what we can have a look at, and it's the first opportunity for us to have a look at it.
Yep.
And that is the Europa League. The Europa League plays tonight. There are a few English teams involved.
Of course, yeah.
You often get good value as a punter in the Europa League because sides like Tottenham and they go away to these abstract locations in Russia, and you get good value. So I think as a punter, to have a look at that. Maybe you guys can shed some light on a few of the teams in the tournament.
Yeah.
Just let punters know that you click on soccer on the left-hand side, into the soccer market, and you should see it.
Well, for instance, tonight, right, the one that Tromsø are a kind of a semi-professional club from Norway. Now, as Arsenal fans, the Comfort, me and the Mole don't know much about the Europa League. We've never played in that. What is the Europa League? Is where if you're not good enough for the Champions League, is that what you do on a Thursday night?
I thought Europa League was where all the Tottenham fans go on holiday.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Europa League night for Spurs, but as Arsenal fans say, it's Thursday night. We don't know anything about the Europa League. Tromsø from Norway are playing Tottenham tonight, and Aaron Lennon's out, Nasser Chadley's out. And you can honestly, what are your odds? Have you got odds on that one?
Yes, we do have odds on
cool.
that one.
What are the odds on Tromsø producing a draw or a win? Yeah, it'd be quite interesting, that.
There's a couple of good games there, Neil.
If you want to look at the odds, Tottenham, they're offering it 1-8. 1-9 with World Sports Betting.
Yeah.
1-8 with Betting World, and 1-8 with Alan Bookmaker.
Bad bet.
Geez, those are massive favourites. Tromsø at the moment. The best odds are 59-2.
Hey, see that? Okay, so just explain.
You
Explain that. Explain the profit levels on that.
So let's bring it down. Let's bring it down to the normal level. Have a look at World Sports Betting. They're offering 28-1 a Tromsø win.
Come on,
so
Tromsø.
In that situation, you would put 100 rand down on Tromsø to beat Tottenham at White Hart Lane you would collect 2,800 Rand profit.
That's the
plus
bet.
your 100 Rand.
I'm going to do it now. I'm clicking on it now. Come on, Tromsø. I don't know any of their players. Their Tromsø defender, Mika Kopinen, scored for Rosenborg in a 1-1 draw at Chelsea 6 years ago. I don't care about that. Anyway, but he's saying that Spurs are one of the best sides in top 20 sides in Europe, but anything is possible. That's all I can tell you about Tromsø. Where they finished in Norway, did they get knocked out as champions and have to go into the Europa League? I'm not sure. But then you compare the scale of that game. Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, there's one game. If you have a look at the scale of that game, like you say, you have that, I don't know, semi-professional side. Then you go to a game, Valencia versus Swansea.
That's exactly what I was just going to say to you.
That's the game.
That game is such a crack, because there you've got all the Valencia fans are probably saying what I just said about Tromsø, aren't they, Molly? They're going, well, who the hell's Swansea? It's not even in England, it's in Wales. But we will know from Monday night that Swansea outplayed Liverpool for much of the second half. And imagine, what are the odds on Swansea to get a result at Valencia?
Well, I was just going to point that out to you guys. If you have a look at this fixture, okay, both sides in the top flight, okay. Swansea, we know, played a very, very good game against Liverpool.
Yep.
They were a good club last season. I think they've got a good manager in Laudrup. They know what they're doing. You can get, with Alan Bookmaker, 38-10. That's the best price at the moment on Swansea. So that's just under 4-1 to beat Valencia. Now, I know they're playing away. I think their stadium's the Mestalla, is it not?
Yes.
Valencia.
Don't like going there, mate.
So
it's a walled city.
So Spanish side against a hard-working English team. I don't know. I think Swansea could pull an upset there tonight. It depends what squad, what he plays. If he has eyes on Saturday, in terms of their manager. So I'm not too sure, but maybe you guys can shed some more light on Swansea's, European history, if they have any.
No, they don't. This is their first time ever in Europe. See, Welsh clubs can get into Europe through what we call the Welsh National League, but that doesn't include Swansea, Cardiff, Newport, who dropped out of our league, and Wrexham. There's 4 or 5 sides from Wales that have traditionally played in England, and they've never played in Europe. Last time Cardiff could have qualified was 1927 when they won the FA Cup against Arsenal. So we're looking at a situation here where Swansea have no record in Europe. Valencia will be looking at them going, well, who the hell are these? They'll know about Michael Laudrup, obviously, and they will know that Swansea in the top flight. But I reckon all Valencia fans will be going, oh, this will be an easy one for us. But I've seen Valencia twice this season in La Liga, and they're a great side. But Swansea, I might put a little bit on Swansea there.
That'd be a good game.
Yeah,
that could be. It'd be a good footballing game. That'd be a good game to watch as a neutral.
Yeah,
for sure.
And Laudrup wants to enhance his reputation in Europe, and particularly in Spain, where he was mentioned for the Real Madrid job when there was rumours around Jose Mourinho, and also for the Barcelona job when the lad fell sick. So it would be Laudrup would be looking at that game thinking, I want to go to the Mestalla against the Yellow Submarine, and do something. So that's bloody Villarreal, isn't it? And he'd want to do something special there, I think.
Well, as a punter, let me just put this out there. Whether the guys take the advice or not, I'm not too sure. After last week, don't take any of my advice. But I mean, if you look at this and you're sitting as a punter, you're saying, right, Valencia and Swansea both have to go out now, play a cracker of a game at the Mestalla this week, today, and then have to get up for a game on either Saturday or Sunday. Valencia, if you click on the Spanish league on top of Spanish Premier Division, you'll see that they're playing Sevilla. Now, that's not an easy game. I mean, there must be some sort of rivalry between them. I don't know where they are on that peninsula, but I do know that they're 2 of the bigger teams. And you see Valencia with betting there at 8-10 to beat Sevilla, and I think the game is on Sunday.
Yep.
And they're 7-10 to beat Swansea. Very hard to go and beat 2 fairly quality sides. So I mean, if you're sitting as a punter in that situation, you'd have to look at Sevilla and say, gee whiz, at 7-2. Maybe there's a bit of value. Maybe Valencia don't have the squad to go that far. Definitely Swansea won't have the squad. And maybe the side that they're playing this weekend, I'm not sure who they are. I've kicked out of that league at the moment. Yeah. But, I mean, that's where you look for the...
Yeah. No, it is. It's 658 kilometres from Sevilla to Valencia. It's quite a big country, actually, Spain. When you go there, your parents are living there now, aren't they, Molly?
Yeah.
And it's a big, dry, hot country with not much money except at Real Madrid and Barcelona. And, I just think for Swansea to get Valencia back, when Valencia play there, they'll be going to Swansea tiny little, quite a tough little Welsh town as I remember it. And it could be very interesting to see who comes out on top against there in that particular match. But my bet there would be Swansea. And the reason that we don't like the Europa League, of course, is that... Hold on, I just had all the fixtures up. Have you read some of the names in the games tonight? What's that Russian side from Odessa? Can you pronounce it? Can anyone pronounce that?
No.
I had it up just now, mate. There's some great names in there. Who are Wigan playing tonight? They're playing a Belgian side, aren't they, with the unpronounceable name as well?
But you've got Lazio, I've got Legia Warsaw.
Yeah, that's a good game.
That's a good one.
No,
Estoril, Sevilla are away to Estoril in Portugal. You've got PSV.
Yeah, mate. There's some great clubs in there. And
that's a good game. Real Betis, Lyon. That'll be a good game.
But remember, guys, halfway through the Champions League, all the sides that come third in the Champions League groups get thrust into the Europa League. It's a very, very difficult competition to win. And, of course, Chelsea won it last year. And I think what Jose Mourinho is doing is desperately trying to get back into the Europa League as fast as he can because he knows he can win it like they did last year. I think that might be the plan.
I don't think that Abramovich sat him down and said, I want to win back-to-back Europa League. I think if he does that, he'll be on a train back to Portugal. But
mate,
I don't know. This is a very, very difficult tournament to have a bet in. But just so that the punters know, Top Odds to offer it. It's out there. There are a million games. Take an all to come. Spend 50 rand and pick sides with names that you can't pronounce, and you might be lucky.
I know. Well, that's what I was thinking of. I'm trying to find this Belgian side's name now. But Ruben Kazan we've got to know quite well. But if you look at hold on, where is it? It says Churn Odessa here, but see, Churn Odessa isn't there. Dinamo Zagreb are playing Churn Odessa, but Churn Odessa is a shortened version of Chernaka Pokadeblik, and that's quite a difficult side to bet on. But you can do it on computer much easier than you can do going into the shop and saying, "I'd like to bet on Chernaka." So I think they should click on your computer, go through your site. And Brandon, thanks a million, mate. As always, great to have you on. Let's get that up on tokodds.com, that video of the mole, you and me, and see if we can get a couple right this week. Get your money on Swansea against Valencia, guys.
Most definitely. Thanks a lot, Neil. And just to remind the punters that all the games will be live in running on the front page, so they can watch a match, watch Chelsea go 1-0 against Everton, put more money on them.
Yeah.
And,
but one of my tweeters, I can't find it now, but one of my tweeters said he did exactly that this week. I can't remember what the two games were, and he did great. He made about 1,000 rand from about a 20 rand stake, so that is possible. Betting in play is the other thing we need to talk about one week.
Yes, no, most definitely. Definitely. We'll walk the punters through that. Having me, guys.
Great stuff, Brandon. As always, Brandon from tokodds.com. Our backers here on Bollockz. 2 hours of football with me, Neal Collins, the mole, and Comfort Keswa, the man with the hat.
This is Bulls Visual Radio.